meeting to order at 5:06. And I think we have somebody else coming in, and she's ready to venture up. And you didn't hear anything from Judge, did you? No? So, I'll start with David.
David Roberts, Director of Operations.
Wait a minute. You have to tell us something exciting that you did away from here this summer.
I got a vote.
Go ahead.
I spent the last month on Lake Dunmore.
Thank you.
1977 glass run. Red carpet interior.
Yeah, gotta love it. North or south? And
North or south left?
end of the lake.
Oh, I'm on the north side, but I usually go to the south.
Okay. So something new and refreshing. Hi, Jeff.
Nicole McTavish, Superintendent and Director, and let's see. So John was in the Navy for 23 years in our previous life, and I spent a lot of time chasing his boat around to meet them wherever they were, and now apparently I'm back in that business because I chased his cruise boat now up and down the Maine coast for a week, which was super fun.
Wow. Did they let you on it?
No.
She would have had to row out.
Wendy Pratt, I'm the Assistant Director, and I have a brand new granddaughter, Juniper Jean.
Jillian Ziegert, Director of Curriculum and Instruction. I saw and touched a sea anemone for the first time in the Oregon coast. Afterward, I read you're not supposed to touch them. They don't really like that. So I felt kind of bad, but it was still a fun experience.
My name is Laura Harthan, ACSD rep for the board, and we went camping in Acadia National Park for 3 days this summer.
Awesome. Steve Parks, Middlebury, and got invited during the summer to give a talk on brewing at Camp Saginaw in New York. It's fantastic.
Judd Markowski, WIB member, and I've survived the heat this summer. That's my excitement.
Kim Farnham, Mount Abraham, representative community at large, the chairperson of this board. And I just came back from a week of a guided tour up and down the coast of Maine. I can't even remember all the things I did, other than like a lobster boat excursion and got to be in lobsters and an oyster farm and all those fun things. And I did see Nicole's husband's boat off the coast. Berlin, I think we were in. Anyway, great time. Glad I went and would like to still be there. Anyway.
Steve Orzek, ACSD, Vice Chair. My son finished his counseling work for the summer, and when he came back, we spontaneously got in his car and drove to visit my parents in Indiana. So cross-country, unexpected journey. And only had one major fight on the way.
Austin Haynes, business manager. So I'd say definitely a highlight was going on David's boat the other week. It's a classy experience. I would highly recommend it. And we spent the month of July lake hopping. So my brother-in-law his family has a place in Otisco Lake in New York. It's one of the Finger Lakes. And then we spent a weekend camping on Squam Lake in New Hampshire with the pontoon boat. So a lot of lake time.
Dan Rossignol, Northwest Addison at large, and I just got back from a trip up the north coast of the St. Lawrence Seaway up to Saginaw, Canada. I played golf on one of the most beautiful courses in the world, and I actually played well. Since then, my game has
Bill Biederman, WIB, Middlebury, and I'm excited because my wife and I got an RV this summer that she can drive too. So we're going to do a lot more traveling, which should be nice.
Thanks, Bill.
Linda Barrett Clerk, and my 4 children took all 18 of us for a week in Montana and Utah.
Wow.
No fights. It's wonderful.
Thank you, everyone.
You want to get Liz?
Liz is ready. Go ahead, Liz.
Liz Sayre, MAUSD, and We made some new friends this summer, so that was pretty exciting and new.
Thank you, Liz. Dave, how big's your boat, Dave?
15 and a half feet. It's a ski boat, so
there
it
you go.
flies.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for asking.
We want pictures.
Can we all fit on it at one time?
Yeah.
One at a time.
One at a
It's
time.
a two-stroke.
Two-stroke. There you go. Okay. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Judd, and a second? Thank you. Lauren? All those in favor, please raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And I need a motion to approve the June 19th meeting minutes.
Move that we approve the June 19th minutes.
Steve-O, second.
Second.
Bill? Okay, thank you. All those in favor, please raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all. Okay, public comment on any of the agenda. Anybody online other than Liz? Seeing none. No, okay. Seems like there isn't any for the moment. Okay. Consent agenda, monthly accounts payable. Austin, you wanna, I know there's a link, but
Yeah, sure.
highlights?
So yeah, the highlight was June was our fiscal year-end payroll for FY25, so quite a heavy lift for AP and payroll. In the general fund, we had $206,683.09 go out through AP. Payroll was $486,385.94. And that included the summer pays that we pay our faculty to carry forward the 4 paychecks in the summer. Adult ed, we had $4,270.02. Enterprise was $22,945.51. Student activities, $15,659.22. And scholarship, we had 2 checks for $2,500.
Any questions from anybody?
Judd?
I see that the BRF has 0. Is that something that gets rebuilt each year and drawn down and rebuilt each year?
We have a fund balance in the BRF. There just were no expenditures
Great.
in the month of June for the
Great.
BRF.
Thank you.
And as part of our audit, we'll give some updates about transfers and fund balance and that sort of thing.
Great. Thank you.
Status of the audit?
Yeah, I'll touch on it in my report at the end. but,
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Building and equipment reserve? Any questions about that other than the BRF? And everything else you pretty much report. The line of credit?
No activity and no line of credit for June.
So I need a motion to accept the consent agenda. In a second. Dan? All those in favor, please raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Personnel item, I signed this person's contract, so what if Nicole or Wendy want to talk about?
Go ahead, Wendy. Sure, so we have hired Addison Hubble for a teaching assistant full-time that will likely be with Hayden in mechanical science all day long. His numbers warrant that, and so does that the age level that he works with and the tools. And she is a former student of ours. She actually did 4 years here, so she went to 2 of the pre-tech programs, and then she was in the sustainable ag for 2 years. And she really wants to get into teaching, so she's going to be, kind of checking things out, seeing how it goes, and see if she still likes it after this year. We hope she does.
So I need a motion to accept her in that position.
So moved.
Thank you, Judd. And Bill, second. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Actually, we have 1 teaching assistant. I know that last year we hired a number of teaching assistants and then ended up with a pretty restricted enrollment. And that ended up putting us in an exposed position. What's the situation around that this year so far?
So we have held off hiring additional TAs until we see the whites of their eyes pretty much. We do have at least one, maybe two intriguing applicants, we are going to talk to, so that should the students actually show, we will be able to quickly maneuver to hire.
So there could be more teaching assistants.
It's likely there will be more, but after last year, we just want to be careful.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Good question.
Okay. So you need to vote on that motion. All those in favor of hiring Addison Hall, excuse me. Raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Next group of action items, the first one is to appoint Dan Rossignol as chair of the budget committee, which I believe he has agreed to. He's not being blindsided. He will do this, I said, yeah. Anyway, so
Agreeing is a word you could use.
he got told earlier, we need you, yeah, anyway. So I need a motion to do that. So moved, and a second.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. Or do
Aye.
both. Aye. Thank you. Motion carries. Nobody's saying no to that. Anyway. And Kristina has also agreed, second item to the budget committee. And she's not here, but she okayed it before she decided she couldn't be here today. Anyway, I need a motion to accept that.
Absolutely.
These two. This guy, the twins over here. Anyway, all those in favor, please raise your hand or say aye.
Could I ask,
Sure, go.
what is the composition of the budget committee now? Because that was kind of up in the air.
I think it's on that.
I'm reading it
Okay,
here. Steve Parks, Steve O, and Liz.
So it's now 4?
So it's
And Dan
Steve,
and Kristina.
So that makes 5.
Steve, Liz, yeah, 5.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of that appointment, please raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. And we got 2 2s here, but that's okay. McGee Chevrolet donated a auto and diesel, I just say monies, I would say, $1,500, David?
It was the proceeds from a raffle and fundraiser that they did, and they called and asked if they could split.
Awesome.
The auto.
I think it was a Father's Day car show.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, so we need to accept that donation. I need a motion to do that. We're gonna break these guys up a little bit. Dan seconded that. Right over here. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. All those in favor, please raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Thank you. And number 3, appoint new board member who could not be here this evening. Her son, she's a nurse and she got called into duty because her son's at the hospital, I'm assuming right now. Anyway. So, but she will be here and she is an employee of Porter Hospital and will be appointed to take the seat that Sharon Meacham had from there. And I think a good candidate. I think I won't say too much more until she comes and she can tell her story.
Her resume is in the packet, but we
Yes.
generally don't link those because we don't want personal information
Right.
out.
But I think I'm going to have to wait because she's not here and she needs to be sworn in.
I believe the board can vote and then Linda can swear her in at the next meeting. It should
She
be-
can also, can she also go to like town hall and do that? It's a Freeman oath, right? Is that correct? Is that the name of the oath?
It's the same thing you do for any board member.
Okay. Okay. So her name is Kristina Wesley. And I need a motion to approve her as a new board member.
So moved.
All sorts of people. Steve O. Anyway, all right. All those in favor of that motion, please raise your hand or say aye.
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 Thank you. Anybody opposed? Seeing none, she is in. Okay, good. But I think you'll be very happy with her input and things that she's, she knows Stephanie quite well in the LNA program and so on, so it was a nice connection working for us there. Number 4, donation of a Craftsman lawnmower to the Mechanical Science Department, and I believe it is Lafayette. Is that her last name? Anyway, And that is in here on a sheet. Ian, Fiandra. Okay. Need a motion to accept that? Thank you. Twins. Thank you. All those in favor, please either say aye or raise your hand. Thank you. Anybody opposed? Donation accepted. Unanimous. For the people that are here, thank you. Policy D8, section of library materials. There are a couple of links available. Nicole, would you like to explain that?
Sure, this is, you want to go ahead? Go ahead, Steve. You're the lead of us.
So what happened was, in the last legislative session, they passed a law saying that we had to have a library selection policy on the books. We don't have a library. That does not excuse us from not having a policy. Therefore, we are trying to put this together. We did not have a quorum at the last policy meeting, so policy committee has not reviewed this. However, the policy that you have 2 links there. The first one is to the VSBA model policy, and the second one is to what was turned into an official policy of ours. This is a first reading, so you can, if you find anything in there that you are uncomfortable with, but really, again, keep in mind, this is a policy for something that we don't have but are required to have by law. So we figured, and it has to be in place by October 1st, is that right? So if we didn't do a first reading this time, we wouldn't make the deadline. So policy committee or no, we thought we would present it to the board and hopefully get it approved in September to be able to be in compliance by October 1st. So yes, it seems rushed and it does seem a little bit out of the ordinary, but given the situation, I think we're pretty safe adopting this policy. And if you do have any objections, I'm sure you can call Nicole or me, and we'll be happy to answer any questions. Or bring them to the next, the problem with bringing them to the next one is if we change anything, we cannot adopt it. We would have to rewarn it and we wouldn't be able to adopt it until after October 1st. So please, take that under advisement. I'm not encouraging you not to read it, but I am encouraging you to think very carefully if you want to change something.
There's nothing real bizarre in it.
There isn't.
I read it, it's fairly straightforward. And the fact that we don't have a library, but we have to have it in place.
Yes.
I'm okay with what you got there.
Okay, great.
And it is the first reading, so we're not really going to vote on this.
Right, we don't have to vote on it, but action means that it had to be on the action agenda in case somebody wanted to come look at it, talk
And
about
if
it.
you want to change anything, we have to have a special meeting.
We would have to have a special meeting either to change the policy before the September meeting or after the September meeting to just approve this policy. So, not saying don't do it, just saying think about it. Be careful what you ask for. You might just get.
Dan?
But we don't have the full name on line 4. It says Patricia A. Regional Technical School. Patricia A. Regional Technical. We just need to add a correction.
I think that's more of a typo.
That's my own, yeah.
Thank you, Dan, for picking that up.
And a correction, I don't think invalidates the policy, so we can call this the first reading.
Right. Yeah, any other questions? Seeing none? Thank you. Moving on. Number 6. Bus resolution. Is that Mr. Dave?
Yeah, so, let me just give you a little background on the buses, in context. So we did an RFP. We chose buses that were Chevrolets that are sold out of New York, so it was less to get them here, and they were also cheaper. They're coming right out of the showroom floor. The total price was $231,500, so $116,000. So we felt like we got a really good deal, and the buses are beautiful. They're yellow, and they have 14 seats. We've arranged financing. The interest, the resolution is just to allow Kim and Nicole to sign That's what the resolution is. But I did want to give you a detail. The interest rate's 4.84%, which I think is really good. I got another quote and it was 10% from a private. 10% or they wanted a personal guarantee, and I thought, Kim, not sure.
Thank you. Still paying
So
college.
anyway, we're moving forward, and if you guys approve this, we'll be financing, the buses will be here middle of October. And it fit right into the budget I presented to you. It was $49,000 a year, and it's $50,776. So it fits right into the budget for us to buy these, because I financed them 5, not 6. So there you go.
Can I
Steve?
ask where you got the 4.8?
Question, excuse me,
Sorry.
Steve?
So as I read through this, I am reading leasee and lease. Are we leasing these or purchasing them?
It's an interesting thing. So we are leasing them, but you have the right to purchase them for $1 at the end of the lease.
Okay, so we're not leasing them for $116,000.
Nope.
We are
We're buying.
purchasing them, okay.
We're buying them. We're leasing them for $116,000, and then we're buying them at the end of the lease for $1. So
Okay, thank you.
however you want to, 6 of one, half a dozen.
Bill, did you have a question?
That's like an old-time lease. I didn't know they still did that. That's
This
great.
is a municipal
Municipal lease.
tax-free lease, which is why we're getting a good deal. This is you remember the leasing company that came in and talked to you guys?
The lady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's with them, and it's municipal leasing consultants, and they're going out, and they've gone out to get the bank and the rates and all that kind of stuff. They're kind of program.
Good work. The rate's outstanding.
Yeah, and I pushed back, so we got another 0.4% off those.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. So everybody's super excited, and most of the school took type 2 driver's license test training today, so everybody's going to get their endorsement in driver's license. So it really worked out well.
Nice.
Do you need that information signed within, what's your time frame?
What I wouldn't mind you guys signing that before you leave.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Do we have a naming contest going on now?
Hannaford Career Center, Yellow Bus 1, Yellow Bus 2.
That's it, nothing.
Bodie McBoatface. If you know that
We should put that on.
There you go.
We can pick out numbers.
Thank you guys for all the support.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks for all your work.
Nice work.
And the committee that reviewed the bids and so on. Thank you also
And that was
for your summer commitment.
Kristina, Michael, and Dan, I think, right, Dan? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for yours. I need a motion to accept all that leasing information.
I move that we accept the lease as included in the packet.
Thank you. In a second?
Second.
Judd? All those in favor, would you raise your hand or say aye, please? Aye. Anybody opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Thank you, Linda.
So you want us to sign this before we leave this?
I think.
Not you.
Linda brought her notary.
Right.
Nicole and I are signing on that.
Your personal guarantee?
You guys basically just authorize Kim and Nicole to sign.
Okay.
Another lease. The next, the report to the board, first from the superintendent.
So
Mixed up.
David alluded to the fact today that all the faculty, so all the teachers and the teaching assistants all sat in this room all day, and we had a bus clinic so that when the new buses arrive, we are all, about halfway to getting our type 2 licenses. We all still need to go take the test at the DMV, do the driving test and that sort of thing. But we just did it as a faculty so that we can have the most possible teachers and teaching assistants qualified to drive the new buses. So that was really good. And much praise to Shannon for putting that all together. The other piece is you should have in front of you a blue notebook here. If you didn't get one, let me grab you one right over there. This is the product, this is something we've been looking to do for 2 years, and Wendy was able to finish this and get it ready for all students. So all students now have a student welcome packet when they come into our center for their students and their parents. She's going to take just a minute and walk you through the documents here so you can see what the families get. So on the left-hand side are forms that students and families need to fill out and then return. So we have our health form and acceptable use agreement for electronics form. That's important for lots of different reasons, especially where we are with something that will come up in the right-hand pocket. So on the right-hand side is a lot of informational stuff. We have a welcome letter from Nicole that's more generally welcoming the students and families into our community. And mine is a little bit more detailed as far as where you can find things on our website or in this packet, what forms need to come back, what ones they can pick up in the office. Talks about our driving permission form, if you're 18 years old and you want to sign for yourself, and a multimedia opt-out. We have the academic calendar and a nice new daily schedule that is a great visual, which we haven't had in the past, and that's pretty helpful because you know that we have lots of differences in our programming, so that helps people figure out where their students are when. We have our one-pager all about PAHCC, so we're hoping by getting these home to the families that they'll be talking up all of these programs for us and spreading the word. Then we come to our device-free plan and a one-pager on how that's going to look with the Yonder pouches that students are coming with from their home schools. So very fortunately, we are all doing the same thing this year with this. And so you probably are all aware of that from your own board meetings, but it's not always the case that all three are doing the same thing. So that made it really easy for us to kind of jump on board with this. So we have some Yonder pouches here because we'll have students that are from out of district or our Otter Valley students, they're doing a device-free policy but not doing the Yonder pouches. The Yonder pouch, by the way, you're probably asking, what's a Yonder pouch? Is a way to lock the cell phones and any earbuds and a smartwatch. So students will lock those and keep this Yonder pouch in their bags during the school day. And then when they leave school at the end of the day, they will unlock it with a device that we'll have here and everybody will have at their sending schools. So that's, in theory, that's how it's supposed to work. We are prepared for some things to maybe not go quite so smoothly as that, but that is spelled out in our device-free plan. So as you know, by next year, we'll have to adopt a policy around this. We do have a year to kind of see how this one goes, see what we want to adjust, and then we will be coming to you for a policy on that next year. We have information on our work-based learning, which Jess Danielle is our coordinator for. And a lot of families have questions about that, so this is nice to get that out there. We've got our CTSOs, which right now we have just FFA and Skills USA. So information on those, and then ways for students to get involved. And it kind of gives students a way. A lot of students come here looking for something like this because they don't necessarily do this at their sending school. So this is a list, and we've added a few things that we haven't had before, so we're excited about that, ways to get kids excited about this being a school of theirs as well. And we have our last newsletter, which was end of May, which was nice because it included our celebration of learning, so families will have all of that to look through. So yeah, pretty excited that we're going to be offering this first day to students and going over them. And I've already talked with several families that have called in looking for schedules or wanting driving permission forms already, and told them about this, and so they're looking forward to getting it. And just a huge thank you to Wendy. This was an immense undertaking. Lots of time putting it together, lots of time literally putting it together. So I think this is really raises the level of professionalism when a family first encounters the center. I'm very excited about it.
The other piece that I should have mentioned is the student and family handbook. We didn't print out that whole thing, but we have links to it and it's on our website, and that was completely overhauled as well. So every form that we've had that's been hanging around for 10 years has all been updated, so everything's looking fresh and new.
Cool. Good work.
Yes, very nice.
The other thing, David, could you bring up the website and go to the course description, guys? The other thing which we've been working on, and we are now very excited to unveil, is our website now has all of our course description guides on it. So if a family or a student is looking to find out more information or looking to see what their actual current class is, that information is now live and updated and correct. Jillian is making sure that that is all, is having live updates.
Down there, each has the full curriculum for each course.
So can you just click on one, just
The green.
there you go. So for example, this is, I can't see that far.
Auto tech.
Okay, so this is auto tech. So the parent and the student can see exactly what auto tech is all about and what they can earn as part of this program.
Nice, good.
So Wendy, I have a question.
Yes.
So if we're gonna use the pouches at the sending schools and they're getting ready to go on the bus, is this gonna, I can see it now, like, do they have immediate accessibility to get their phone out of Hawk in, and say at Mount A before they get on the bus, and then they come here and they have to put it in another pocket, right?
So if they're taking the bus, no.
Okay.
If they're driving, then yes, they would, because we don't want any student driving without having access to their phones.
Okay.
But there's no reason for them to have their phones on the bus.
So it stays at the sending school?
No, it stays with them.
Okay.
But it will still be locked.
So how does that lock work?
It's a magnet. They lock it themselves, and then to unlock it, they run it by a special magnet, and we have those available here, and all the sending schools have them as well.
So it doesn't get unlocked until they return to their sending school?
Yeah, and then if they have another class when they get to their sending
Right.
school, it still wouldn't get unlocked until they
Gotcha.
leave for the day.
Okay. It's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah, and I actually know more about what Middlebury's doing, but we're all kind of doing very similar things.
Right.
So I suspect that, I know that it's all bell to bell, day, the full day. So
Right.
it's not, some schools have experimented with being able to access their phones in between classes or at lunchtime, and that has not worked out as well. So this is from the minute they walk in until they leave. Steve-O, did you?
Good question.
Not about the cell phones.
okay.
So my question is, okay, so they leave here and they're going to an internship or something like that. So you have the ability to unlock their phone if they're going there?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm doing the devil's advocate because
Sure.
I already asked my kids, why? But that's okay. As long as they know what they can and can't do and where and who's going to be available to unlock it here. Is it a front office thing? Is it an individual classroom?
It depends. Somebody like Aaron, who's out in the field a lot, we're giving him, he can take a handheld one with him on the bus.
Okay.
So that he always has it available. And then others that are going on a field trip can sign one out for the day. We
Okay.
will have several around the building that can be unlocked and taken away and locked up, or when it's time for everybody to leave, if we expect a lot of people need to use it, then we'll have it on right then, and we'll have people in the hall kind of watching how that goes, especially the first couple of weeks where,
Right. Sure.
we're gonna see how it goes.
Good question.
Okay.
Dan?
Yeah, is there gonna be a line of people
Yeah.
waiting to unlock their phones on the way out, like
Yeah, you know, I don't think
Writing there, but-
I don't think it's going to be too much here because it's really going to be more on the sending schools.
Okay.
We're actually really fortunate in this whole thing that it's much less on us than what it's going to
So
be on
they'll
them.
get unlocked when I go back to
Yeah.
the sending school. Okay,
Yeah.
and then my other question was, I know that the Northeast Kingdom pioneered this, and they claim that they could do this because everybody had a tablet or some sort of access to information and computing, calculating, things like that. Do the students here have? So you need a calculator, you can't just pull out your phone like everybody does.
Right, they won't be pulling their phone out, but they will have access to their Chromebooks
Oh,
and,
so they have Chromebooks on top, okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So
I
they
guess
can
that's
use
what
a
I was-
calculator on that, plus we still have some actual handheld calculators.
Yeah, I've got no Hewlett Packard.
We don't need, high, maybe Dan A uses, graphing calculators in his room, but other than that, really, we just need the basic four-function calculators,
Okay.
so we're in pretty good shape there.
Okay.
Good question.
I know just my immediate observation, for instance, Stephanie's class, she actually had some places to put their phones
Yeah.
in. So they didn't even have them on them when they were in the room. And it's an initiative thing, and I'm sure they were fine with that.
Are they shut off in this thing? Or if somebody calls them, are they gonna start freaking
we
out?
know that, there could be, we've heard kids talking. I think Nicole has overheard her son in group, but, that, they're gonna have them set so that alarms are going off at certain times. And, we do expect that, the first few weeks is gonna be interesting, but, it's gonna be state law, so we might as well jump on the bandwagon.
I'm thrilled with it. So does it work on all cell phones, pretty much?
It does because it's really just a bag that locks. So it has nothing to do with actually what you're putting in it. You could put, anything in it, but yeah.
So I get asked the question, where does the faculty come into play with this?
Yep, so we will have, how we are stating it is we have to model what we're asking the students to do. If it's in between classes and they're behind their closed door to do, schoolwork and they need to use their cell phone, then they'll have access to that. Middlebury, however, is doing something different. They did a no phone today just to see how that was gonna go. So, yeah.
I'd go back to the 70s where if I can't chew gum, you can't chew gum.
Well,
That would do it,
Yeah.
it's the same back then. Anyway,
I go back to the 70s and it was, well, if I can't smoke, you can't.
right, that's what I was thinking, Steve.
we didn't have that issue, it was elementary school. But anyway,
Oh, you never know.
That is funny.
it was a while ago. Didn't have time, they'd rather go out for reasons. Anyway, but thank you, Wendy, for going over that. And
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be more questions, and I think with this type of forum, it's good if we get all that out to the public right away. I
Yeah,
think they're aware of it, but, like you said, the little pluses and minuses, and what's the pouch look like? Maybe next time we can
sure.
show the camera and just that
Sure.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
This is
it
what
is
looks
in-
like.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just saying to the rest of the voters out there.
Sure.
I think it's a good thing to show.
yeah, I'm happy to report on, how the first month goes.
Report from this one.
Yeah.
Any other questions from anybody?
Yeah, who paid for all this technology, this Yonder and all this other stuff? Is this the state or did it come out of another unfunded mandate?
No, we paid for it. It was only $1,800, so, it wasn't a huge amount of money for us.
Again, we were lucky because most of our students are coming with them.
Right, okay.
How much is a Yonder pouch?
And how much is one Yonder?
It's $30.
Good.
Yeah, so we bought 50 of them, 1,500, so then there was a couple
Some
other charges
magnets
for the
and-
magnets. And we have these handheld magnets the teachers can have, and then there's magnets that we're gonna install on the walls, and then there's one that's in a lockbox, and then there's one that's gonna go on a cart, and, it's gonna be fun.
How long before a student figures out how to
I
make
was
one of
gonna
those
say.
at home?
A way to buy one.
There's already hacks all over, but,
Yeah.
you know,
Bring in
the,
dad's defibrillator, right?
yeah, we did have a great, sort of sales pitch, you know, from the company, and, you know, they're being used all over, and they're pretty successful.
For the moment, till they can buy them on eBay. But anyway, because that's what's gonna happen, we know that. Any other? You think of more, you know who to go to. Back over here. Okay, next, business managers report.
Can I ask one real quick question before we move on? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Since we're doing the bags with the kids, and you're saying you're gonna limit phones with the teachers, how do you handle emergency situations where you have to communicate with everybody?
Well, we have an intercom system that we generally use here, and we have improved the one at North Campus, including adding speakers. Did we get the speakers in the barn, David?
No.
So we're putting speakers in the barn as well, so that you can hear out there. And generally, we don't use cell phones anyway for that sort of communication, because the cell service in this building is terrible, because it's made out of cinder blocks.
Okay.
So we generally don't use those anyway. We have also purchased radios that all the administrators will be wearing, similar to you might have seen in your sending schools. So we will have those for most of our emergency communication.
Great, thank you.
Good question. Is that listed in there? The parents on that form?
What it says is if parents need to get in touch with their students, they call the main office, just like.
Just like the old
Yes,
days.
Old school.
Talk to Shannon, she'll make it happen.
Yeah. And if we need to call a student down and run a message, it'll just be like it used to be.
Used to
right?
be.
You've been busy.
Thank you. Ready?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'll kick it off and turn it over to David to add some color commentary and talk about operations. But in the business office, we've been incredibly busy closing out the year. June, July, when the faculty leave, it gets a little quiet, but we are incredibly busy at work just closing out the books and getting the new fiscal year off and rolling. So the biggest project we tackled right out of the gate was just closing out payroll, getting summer pays for faculty moving smoothly, doing a fiscal year end reconciliation on our payables, going through medical, dental, life insurance payables, making sure those balances net out and are clean for the audit. We have a number of quarterly reports due to the feds and to the state. Tax reporting is the primary lift. Reports out to the Department of Labor for unemployment, tax payments, that sort of thing. So that's kind of the first piece of just getting the fiscal year closed out and then just off and running with the new school year. Interspersed in that, all year we've been working on a chart of accounts conversion. So as you're familiar with last year, the prior business manager converted our system from an old chart of accounts structure and an old system into a new software that we're currently using today. Part of that process included converting over to the state's format, so we had a different format that didn't jive well with how the state was translating their chart of accounts. So we've done a lot of updating to our accounts to get over to the new system, so to speak. That's involved a lot of cleanup, just combing through our balances, making sure that the conversion mapped properly, that the right accounts came over, and then also updating if there were inaccuracies or errors, which there were. Simultaneously with that, we were building and installing the new system. So starting the first week of July, we had new payroll, new POs, new purchasing to make. David was busy just keeping the lights on. New salaries, new taxes, new everything. So within really a short period of time, we had to flip a switch and get everything built in the new system and get that off the ground. So that's been a really heavy lift. Cameron's been a really incredible asset to the team. He's incredibly savvy with the technology. He's learned our chart of accounts really quickly, and he's just a lot of horsepower and help, which has been, I think, a relief for both David and me. We're not spending as many nights up late anymore, so that's been really great. And then, we talked about in the last meeting, we have a draft of our audit, so that's been a big project we've been working on all year. We're still combing through, as I mentioned, with this whole process, we're still working through reconciling the audit balances, even back to 23. There's been some adjustments that we've needed to carry forward and reconcile and correct, and that'll be complete with this with the FY24 audit when we get closure on that. I think from an ideal time frame, we're looking at within the next month, we'll have final closure on FY24. We're also working with the auditors to get going on the FY25 draft. So that's in the works. And then I guess with all of these projects, we also have reports to the AOE. So the stat report, which is our annual financial report, we submitted on Monday. All of these projects that I've talked about impact that reporting, so it's been all kind of a interconnected web of activity and projects. Yeah, that's a lot. I kind of rambled quite a bit. Are there any questions about what we're working on there? Projects?
Bill?
So you were saying you're closing out 24. We actually file on the year even though the budget is school year.
The audit for FY24 was delayed because of the turnover in the business office. So we're still, I think last October is when we had FY23 completed.
Yep.
So we hadn't even started FY24, which is, typically we're already halfway through that process last year.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
You've been busy?
Yeah.
This new payroll system, is it a whole new thing you had to pick up to bring it, or is it just a modification to you?
We've been working with it all year. I guess the adjustment is with FY26, we've had to correct a bunch of chart of accounts, and then, as I mentioned, with new salaries and new benefits, there are new rates that kick into effect. So it's kind of like learning to fly a plane and then build it simultaneously.
Wow. Congratulations, I guess. It sounds like just another wrench in the works.
Yeah.
All right.
Any other questions for Austin or David?
I think David also wanted to,
Oh, yeah, I can tag on to that. I just reiterate all the hard work that's been happening and the complexities, and I'll kind of echo what Nicole has been saying. Like, this is our year to like, the last couple of years we've been fixing in chaos and trying to, and this year is really, we're excited about starting the year on a solid foundation, which is also why we're taking some time to go through the financials with a fine-tuned comb, which I don't think has been done as well in the last several years, and getting rid of some old stuff that's just hanging out so that 25 is much cleaner. We're also doing a lot of the end of the year journal entries and closeouts and things that haven't been done in the past, which has been appearing on our management letter for several years. So those are the kind of really grown-up things that we've been doing and making a lot of hard work now, but really paying off in the future. And auditors are very happy with that too. So that's all very good. I did want to just mention a couple things. We talked about the buses, so I won't mention that. We bought a 2021 skid steer for the Natural Resource Management program for $39,500. So we didn't have to do an RFP. It's a beautiful thing. Everybody's really excited about it. It's just got all the bells and whistles and track wheels and blah blah blah. That got Hayden and Aaron and Alan super excited. So that's great. The diesel engine and the lift and auto are coming soon. And then I just wanted to say, the unsung heroes here for the summer have been our ops and maintenance folks. I've watched them and their dedication and hard work over the summer. The planning, just the cleaning, and all the lists of things that I've had them to do, and Nicole's had them do, and all the asks. And it's been pretty amazing. So if you see them, really pat them on the back and just say thank you, because they're behind so much behind the scenes that we don't see that. And the other thing I'll point out is we did a major renovation. I feel like it's a major renovation of the construction lab. We have a brand new floor, 1,200 square foot brand new concrete floor that we had ripped out and redone because of some integrity issues that we found. That's done, and we had Servpro come in and clean 20 years of sawdust. And so we're really starting off at construction. The other big thing that we did this year is we cleaned up a lot in the back. You can't tell because of all the construction, but we really cleaned up a lot in the back, and we're continuing to do that. So we're focusing on making sure the outside of the building, especially in the back, is really clean and neat and tidy. Yeah, that was it. And then vote.
So new dust handling is all up and going?
What's that?
New dust handling is all up and going?
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up. We are not going to use that dust collector yet.
Okay.
We've looked at it and we think it needs a new motor. We're moving to portable dust collectors.
Okay.
And so we are setting them up. We're going to use portable dust collectors for everything but one thing, and we're going to see how that goes. And we just don't know if we need to spend the $30,000, $40,000 to kind of redo this thing.
Wow.
Or not. So Nick and all of us are kind of taking this year to figure out what we're going to do on a long-term basis.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks.
Also a lot of painting going on.
Yeah, I mean, we painted a lot. We got some new furniture. Across the hall, there's a new conference room, learning lab, student center going in, so that'll be something very interesting. Yeah, just a lot of cleaning, organization, throwing things away. We threw a lot of old furniture. You couldn't believe how many old chairs we had, so all that kind of stuff. And then we're having a big garage sale in September, so look forward to that. We're going to do hopefully a big, garage sale with students, and maybe they can make some money for their student activity costs.
Any questions? They also have moved the business office, by the way. We haven't mentioned that. So if you're looking for them, they are here. They didn't go home, but and they've changed.
We're in the penthouse suite.
The corner suite.
Yeah.
Corner suite as well.
They're in what used to be the resource room.
The next door? Yeah. They're not on the widow's walk. They're over here. But anyway,
And just, I'm hoping that you're sensing, and David alluded to it, the mantra for this year for our leadership team is really that this is the year that we're able to move past fixing things, undoing, broken things, and out of crisis management. This is the year that we really feel strongly we're able to move into professional business as usual. I can't say enough about how much work Jillian has done to bring us up to speed on our curriculum, our instruction, our requirements for IRCs and quality standards, which she's going to talk a little bit about tonight. How much Wendy has done to bring our systems and our student management and our faculty oversight and our policies and our procedures for running this shop to a professional standard, and how much the entire business office, David and Austin and Cameron, have done too. This board has been on the journey, and now we're closing out that part of the journey and opening up this new year of having our accounts in order, and we're very happy about that. It really feels good. We are also starting with only one new hire, which is a teaching assistant, because as you know, Julie went to go do full-time work, so we haven't had turnover. It's really a very nice feeling, a really good start to the school year. We're really proud of the staff and the faculty. So I hope that the board notices that change as we move forward in the school year.
any other questions? Thanks, guys. Very informative, which is also refreshing. And next, we will have an update on the public education transformation.
So the journey continues, the saga continues of what Vermont is going to do with public education. This is, I think I've said a few times to this group that this is the year of CTE. We did have a large meeting in here that was organized by Senator Hinsdale, who brought teachers and legislators and leaders and business people from around the state together to try to get a leg up on the CTE legislation. It all does still depend on whether or not the group that's working on boundaries is successful at that project, and then everything else kind of builds from there. So we will, of course, be watching that closely. There hasn't been much action yet around CTE. The CTE directors have, the mood of the group has changed over the course of the year, which has been very interesting. Previous to this year, I would say the majority of the CTE directors in the state were more interested in being a single CTE district. This last meeting that we just had a few weeks ago, there was another vote, and this time the pendulum has swung, where the CTE directors are now more, it's not unanimous, but more in favor of being part of the newly formed districts. So that will be informative to the legislature, but certainly not descriptive, right? They will do what they do. But the VACTED group will certainly put the recommendations forward to the group of legislators who are working on this project.
Have you got any information on timelines or anything other than what the public's been hearing?
No inside information yet. No, they haven't started meeting, right?
Dan?
The CTEs as being one, would that necessitate a single set of curriculum, or do we still have individuality? I mean, I'm thinking that, sustainable ag probably isn't as big in the Burlington area as it is here or in the northeast. So would the individual districts be able to call their own curricula, or are they still going to mandate?
There seems to be an interest in being more standardized than we are now, but not in lockstep in any way. So I wouldn't be surprised if there weren't guidelines or must-dos or something that sort of emerge from this work. But I don't see an indication that it's going to be like sort of like the Common Core state standards, for example. But I couldn't predict. We are way too early in the process to know. And Jillian's going to talk about what we do know, which are the education quality standards, which we're all held to. Right.
Any conversation during those meetings about sharing students that may not be able to attend one institution?
Not really.
Gotcha.
Even though the legislation has passed and we did reach out, we were able to get the names of students, we were able to get the schools' counselors' names where students were denied. We have not yet been successful in getting the students who were accepted, but there's not room for.
Okay. Was AOE at that meeting?
Yes.
So there was somebody from AOE here. Good. That's good too. But no resolutions came out of that meeting. It was just a lot of conversation.
Correct.
Any questions from anybody?
You sound like you're feeling a little better about the whole thing.
It's honestly, it's just too early to tell. There's 90% uncertainty and 10% certainty at this point. So, I mean, there's really not even anything to react to. Yeah.
Okay.
I assumed also going to be a couple of years before we really see much of anything, the way it changed.
Yeah, the conversations even about, it seems more likely than not that all of the school districts will start looking at getting foundation formula money rather than the way it's done now. But that's like 16 steps after if they make the boundaries work, right? Because each thing is an if-then statement to get to that point. The foundation formula at the current levels being discussed would be highly problematic for us, as we've talked about, I think, a number of times, unless the boundaries were changed and we ended up with more students here.
Isn't that number actually low for everybody? But it's a lot lower for us.
It's a lot, it depends on.
15,000.
Well, the number that they're talking about for CTEs is something like 25,000, but we're not entirely sure what we have to pay for out of that 25,000, which makes a big difference too. So, but again, the uncertainty is so significant. Even if, let's say, there was a decision that we were for sure going to move to a foundation formula, it seems not at all possible that that would be for fiscal year 27, because we will all be passing budgets here in a couple of months.
Yep.
So it seems that several years out would be more likely. And at least the conversation, there isn't really a model or a bill or anything, but the conversation has been that you would get something like, I don't know, let's say 90% the first year. So you didn't have a big cliff. You would get a little bit less the first year, a little bit more or less the second year until you were at whatever the magic number was. So we will have, in that scenario, we would have some time to react over time. Plus, we are likely to be in a totally different governance situation. So, I mean, those are all just, like I said, 90% unknown at this point. So I'm kind of, we'll see how it all develops along the way, with the first test being this boundaries situation, which is supposed to be done in a couple months. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Next on the discussion piece is the board retreat, which I think earlier conversation we looked at September 18th of doing that, with the idea that we need to really put together some goals for this board, so that we in turn can look at and give to Nicole and actually make those kind of go together, which would be the first time in my 20 years that I've ever seen. So that would be refreshing. And I guess the big question is if that works, and then what time we would start. And I've, through my years, have been all over the place, where sometimes we do our meeting first and then we do the retreat, or vice versa. It's entirely up to you how we'd like to do that, and we're looking for some suggestions.
The last couple of retreats that you all have done, you've chosen to do the business, a 4 to 8, where the business meeting was like 4 to 5, and then the workshop, the retreat was like 5 to 8. That's what you've done the last 2 times we've done it. I don't know if that was satisfactory or if you'd like a different format.
I prefer we do it without the flooding.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Good luck with that. By then we'll probably have flooded.
It works,
Dan?
that works for me, I'm just saying,
Probably snow.
without the flooding.
Snow, yeah, okay. It's about the only thing left. Yeah, we've got fried to death, now we'll be freezing. But anyway, and you've spoken to VSBA already, and they're open on that day. That was the other obstacle we had in regards to doing it today. And I think, as we get into the school year, it might be a better time. And we did have a couple of people last time we did it that were great. I mean, former teachers and other board members kind of things, so they had a lot of experience doing and working on the subject that we talked about a couple of minutes ago, which are important things, and what you look for, what not look for. So start thinking about that. And if everybody's agreeable, we'll set it up for that time at 4. And we'll hopefully keep the agenda down so that we can get going. But and obviously we'll have food, so that will keep us going during that time, I hope.
And if they could send out, last time they asked us to sit and read. If they could send out something in advance, some questions, something online stuff, just
Things to be
spend a
thinking
few
about, yeah.
minutes to think about, so we don't,
Gotcha.
I don't want to say blindsided, but maybe save a little time and create focus.
When your brain's working, right? Prior to the meeting.
A couple of beers.
Whatever you want.
Gotta stop drinking in the car before the meeting.
Anyway, any questions regarding that, or? I know we're all really excited about doing it, but we'll try and make it a little bit more interesting. But this group is good. These 2 women know their stuff. Anyway, we won't be sleeping, let's put it that way. All right. Moving on. Thank you very much, everybody. Equipment purchase. I think we had an update, but is there anything else you want to add to that, Dave?
Yeah.
buying more stuff, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna buy the diesel engine and the lift, but we'll probably have to do RFPs. I just don't know exactly. They're right at the 40,000 range, so.
Okay. Equipment for welding, is it a saw?
Welding equipment, we are buying it through, some of it we're buying through Perkins. There is a $20,000 saw that we are buying out of Perth.
Yeah, I understand that Dylan had to take his metal pieces and go down to Stafford and have them all cut for the class, so this will be, you know, a little bit better than probably mileage that he put in, but anyway.
It's a good time to, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
It's a good time to point out, just to sing Dylan's praises a little bit. He's worked very hard this summer in redoing his lab, and he made, you guys should go in there if you can. Probably not wait till next board meeting just because he's still getting things together. But they made new stands for the welding, and the students created, he created, they're very sharp, and he's just really increased the look and feel of that, and his class, his enrollment is up, and feedback is great. So I just feel like that's a really positive thing for us as the center, and I think Dylan, he deserves a lot of credit for one, being a great teacher, and also just taking on the renovation of that shop.
My son has been coming in once a week all summer long to work with him, and he can't say enough about Dylan. He goes, he gets us.
Yeah.
He gets us.
Yeah.
He's just like me, you know, and I'm like, okay. But you're right, and my son talked about the stands, and it allows a little more versatility on welding angles and so on, and from underneath, and things that you don't think about when you're welding, and it's allowing, you know, the students to experience it versus those little booths.
Right.
And I guess one of the first things he said when they get the saws, they're going to be cutting up the booths because they really aren't working for what they need to do. But I think he said he's waiting for some electrical work.
Electrical work got done this week.
Awesome.
So, our last week.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
But he has a great report. I can't say enough about that. And the knowledge of what goes on in Stafford and some of the other institutions around here. And I think those conversations about what you can do with welding and where you can go with it. And, you know, he has a lot of contacts that way. That appears to be the side conversations that go on, along with heavy metal music. I understand that's really big. Anyway, so anything else you want to talk about for purchase of equipment? Thank you. Vermont School Board Association, you've probably been getting emails, and there's a piece in here in our packet. And some of us have lobbied for a location change, and finally, they're going to Burlington, and we will not have to go to
Lake Maury.
Lake Maury, which we've been going to, in my case, for 25 years. So anyway, it's nice if you could go to part of it, all of it, and it's laid out, I think, a little bit better too in regards to who's going to be there and what kind of workshops you may be interested in. I don't think they're going to be online. That would be another nice addition that we will try and lobby for in the future, so that you can kind of join in if you have to, not be able to leave your household. But pretty self-explanatory. If we want to sign up, I think we probably have to do that through Shannon.
Right. The reason that this is on the agenda is because I need to know who wants to go and if you want to spend the night. Because it does go until, I think, 8 o'clock at night on Wednesday and then starts at 8 a.m. in the morning on Thursday. So oftentimes board members choose to spend the night so they don't have to do so much middle of the night driving. And we will take care of all the hotel registration and things like that. But I do need to know who wants to go fairly soon so that we can get those done for you.
So should we send you an email?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Send it to me and CC Shannon Thurber, please. And then if we could know that by the end of next week, then we can do all the reservations at one time.
For those of you that have not heard it, this is my annual plug to go because it is really, really a good conference. If you have the time and the ability to go, it's very worthwhile. I've always found it to be worthwhile. And it's not just, I mean, let's face it, some of it's going to be dry. You're talking about school board policy, so it's not going to be that exciting. But you do meet some very interesting people there, including other board members from places around the state. So it has been an opportunity to talk to people about how things are done in other districts and other situations. I've met any number of people that are passionate about board work, and it is always affirming, and it's also motivating to be able to go and do that. And I know it's only Burlington, but yeah, I would advise that you stay the night too, because 8 o'clock can be real early if you've been going till 8 o'clock at night. So.
Well, also, yeah, it gives a voice to career and technical training, which sometimes doesn't get a big voice at some of these things. And, you know, we'll be on a whole different track. I well, since the spring, been meeting with the other chair people of the surrounding sending boards, just as Mark Koenig put it together, and he is the chairperson at Rich Ends. And it's interesting. We get our chairperson from Lincoln, which is the elementary school, and that's a little bit different perspective than sending high schools and their concerns, because they're a little bit different, and they're their own supervisory group. And then, you know, when I come in with the career and technical, they all go, what? Especially when I remind them that maybe 40 people had signed up and got cut out and can't come because of the schedule. You know, I get a chance to be able to say that to them, and they're not necessarily hearing that information from their administrators. So I think it's a really nice way of kind of, you know, well, here's what's really going on, and here's really what our numbers are, because they do like this school. They speak very highly of it, Mark especially, and been over here and taken the time to see what we do. And again, I get a chance to talk about our curriculum too, and some new things that are going on, and equipment, and to talk up the cost of things, because that's the other thing they don't necessarily understand about what it takes to you know, go through this building. But anyway, that's been, we haven't met for a bit because of vacations, but I think it's just a different face, a different conversation than they would get at a board meeting or not here at all from some of the other schools. So anyway, I've been trying to do that. Bill, do you have a question?
Yeah, I did not go last year, but I went the year before, and as Steve says, it's very helpful to see how things work, all the different groups that are there that you can actually talk to. The other thing that both Steve and I mentioned about the meeting 2 years ago was how few elected officials were there. I think there were maybe 250 people attending the thing, and there were maybe 2 elected officials. It was embarrassing. So anybody you know who's an elected official, they should know about this, and they should be there. They should be there hearing from people what's going on, because it was just.
Well, the question I would ask is whether or not they're invited, you know, and that's another piece of the pie that, you know, if they're not invited.
It should be.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Sounds good, but it doesn't mean they are. So I think that's a question for VSBA to, you know, personally go back and say, hey, have the legislators been included in this guest list? And, you know, maybe why aren't one of them speaking to us? You know, anyway.
Frankly, that's what I just noted here.
Yeah.
There's nothing on what's going to happen over the next 2 years. That's kind of an issue.
Now, I will say that VSBA put out a notice. There will be 2 more VSBA members adding that redistricting group. I applied. There's 11 people. I have not heard anything. I think they're talking about maybe making a decision within the next couple of days. The loose letter I got was they're gonna interview 3 people out of the 11 that applied. And I didn't hear anything, so I'm not, you know, putting money on my place. But at the same time, I put in with the emphasis of saying we need a voice for CTE. And I feel really strongly about that piece. I don't know if anybody else did it in the application process, but they're supposedly joining that group to have a voice from a board perspective about the redistricting. I think that's the part that they're more concerned about, which I was glad to hear. But again, we don't know, because the legislators on that group are the ones that are making the decision about who's going to join the group. So I'll you know, name the pink elephant, and that it could be in regards to a political appointee. I mean, that's the way it goes sometimes, unfortunately. And if you don't have anybody on the board that even knows who you are, you know, it's the way it is. So once I find out, if I ever do, and maybe during this session we'll find out who those people are, because they're going to meet really soon. They've met twice already, I believe, and they're gonna meet again to start working on that. We'll see. There has been no action movement whatsoever regarding healthcare. Everybody's kind of waiting because of, well, recently the Blue Cross Blue Shield is ready for some double-digit increases. There's just a lot of things going on, and I'll tell you, internally, the hospital approached Visbit, and they said no, they didn't want to join in that group. They thought, here's a chance for a bigger group. And the hospital's gone ahead, and they are currently getting ready to bring in Cigna. And they went ahead and did that on their own. And for their employees, we're not sure exactly what stage it's at, but I just let you know that there's some movement from them, which is a very large employer in the state. And because they want some action on the rate decrease, hopefully. So we'll see. But Visit's been kind of quiet about the whole thing. You know, they didn't want to pursue, you know, talking to anybody else. And
Yeah, I'm sorry, so previously, they had a supplier, they had a.
yeah, Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Blue Cross Blue Shield's backing away from this whole thing, which is
No.
one of the sheriff's. Oh, okay.
Not at all.
Oh.
But that's what I'm saying. That's it. They're not going out and trying to
Getting
orchestrate any
bids,
competitive
right,
bid.
right.
Exactly. They don't want to even do it. So the hospital went out on their own and said, hey, no, we want some competition.
Okay.
And they're a large enough group to be able to do that.
Okay.
But again, it all depends on the union. There's a lot of other things going on. But all I'm saying is they approached Visbit to say, would you like to join this group? And
No, I understand.
everybody said nope. So just that's it. You know, and that's all we know. Nobody wants to talk. You know, there's been nothing until this redistricting thing. And we'll see what happens.
And the legislatures don't have anything to say about this?
No.
All right.
And Visbit only represents the employees, correct?
Here, teachers. Yes. Right.
Okay.
I'd want a second opinion.
If I was a legislature, I might say this could be a low hanging.
Wait for you to run.
Low hanging.
Wait for you to put your hat in the ring.
God.
You're supposed to be retired, damn it.
What's that?
Stop committing to stuff.
That's really
Patiently waiting in her new office downstairs. So when you look in there, Austin is not there anymore. Anyway,
Kim
but-
came to visit.
Yeah, I suggested that she get a door with a window in it, and then she could put the shade down, but you know, just sort of little, rather than the big steel trap. Anyway, but welcome.
I'm going to talk everybody through a little bit of our year-end data from a curricular perspective from last year.
It's in your packet, by the way.
Yes, you have it printed out, so
Thank you.
thank you, David, for taking the reins. If you'll just go to slide 2 there. That has a couple of definitions on it. So Nicole had alluded to program quality measures, and these are measures that the AOE puts in place that are requirements for CTE programs to meet to ensure they are meeting program quality measures and therefore are in full compliance. And there are a number of them, and the big ones are represented here, primarily that teachers are offering through their programs industry-recognized credentials, or IRCs, college dual enrollment credit, and work-based learning opportunities. So Tier 1 IRCs and Tier 2 IRCs, just a little bit different. If you don't know, Tier 1 are foundational or safety level ones. Those are the lower level IRCs such as first aid or OSHA 10. They don't equate to a higher level post-secondary credit like a more industry-specific one is. Those are valued more highly by the AOE because students can use them as, you know, job training and job application coins in their pocket, but both are required. College credit through the Perkins grant, we have Fast Forward, which is concurrent enrollment where the students are taking a class here at the Career Center with their instructor as the certified CCV or VTSU instructor who's delivering the curriculum, and the students are getting college credit fully paid for by them. And then work-based learning, which you know Jess Daniel does an excellent job of coordinating for students. So for each, to the point about would there ever be a common curriculum if whatever happens with education transformation, one common thing is all programs that are comparable across the state, whether it's construction here, construction at Stafford, construction in Burlington, they all have to meet program quality measures for construction in the state. And there's a big spreadsheet that explains what those are, and there's usually a bit of a slot machine menu where it's usually either 2 Tier 2 IRCs or 1 Tier 2 IRC and 1 college credit, and it's some makeup of that. And so our teachers have a little bit of leniency in how they choose how they meet their program quality measures.
IRC.
Industry recognized credential. Yes.
Thank you.
So the data that I have for you here is based on last year and the number of concentrators, which that definition has shifted a little bit, at least our understanding of how AOE defines that. But concentrators, being that we're a half-day center, take 1 full year of programs here. And that makes them a program concentrator. So you can see on this overview how many students we had out of that 189 that earned that Tier 1 industry recognized credential, that safety foundational level, the Tier 2, that is that more coveted one, the college credit opportunity, and participated in work-based learning. So that's the overview, and then I'm going to break it down for you a little bit by program. And I'll also preface this by saying at the end of last spring, a lot of new information came out of AOE CTE to us about program quality and what that means. And up until this point, our understanding and the definition of a program meeting program quality was simply that it was offering the requisite combination of IRCs and college credits to students. And some things changed at the end of last year, including now, most significantly, 50% of students in a program need to be reaching all program quality measures. And that's a big deal, and it really puts at the forefront the need that we have to make sure that teachers are making these opportunities available to the students, that the instruction is such that students can be successful in attaining them, and that we support the teachers in whatever they need to do if they want to switch the credential they're offering, if we want to make possible a new college credit for them, and a lot of that is within my purview. So some of the data that we see here is going to have a different flavor this year as we look toward higher levels of attainment. So if we take a look at ART, and I'll just sort of go through them, and some caveats that explain some things are in notes across the bottom. We don't need to feel distressed that they earned no Tier 1 IRCs in ART simply because they aren't required to. There's no safety issues in theater, maybe emotional safety issues, but they don't have to offer OSHA because they're not, driving tractors or anything like that, so that is fine. Eric does a fabulous job of offering college credit through that, and a lot of students earned that. Likewise, it's not problematic that they are not engaging in work-based learning because ART is set up as work-based learning, where that is the program in which they're gaining the live acting and backstage info.
Who is he affiliated with on the college credit piece?
He's CCB.
Okay, thank you.
Advanced manufacturing and engineering, bar graphs can be deceiving if you don't see the numbers. He only had 3 concentrators last year, but Dan is just standout above and beyond, offering multiple IRCs, Tier 2, and multiple different college courses that he's certified to teach, and he's on an excellent trajectory to be continuing that this year as well. Auto Tech has done a great job with their Tier 2 IRCs. We're going to be looking at those and potentially adding some more of them this year. Just a note on the college credit in that. One thing that can be difficult in terms of CTE teachers offering dual enrollment is CCB and VTSU do set a high bar for concurrent faculty, and that usually is that they have a master's degree in order to be able to teach, and many of our teachers don't have master's degrees, some of whom don't have a bachelor's degree. There's a process you can go through, waiver for the master's. I'm currently going through that with Chef Jill right now, who does have a bachelor's, to try to get a college course into her class. This instructor does not have a bachelor's, and so it's really not eligible for him to offer the college credit, but he more than makes up for it through the industry recognized credentials. Construction technology has great attainment in Tier 1 IRCs. This was a little bit of a difficult point last year in terms of Tier 2. It was a new requirement that all construction programs across Vermont institute NCCER credential, and he began the process of adding that last year, and now this is the year to really implement, test for it, and achieve it. So that is a big priority with the construction tech program. I alluded to culinary arts that has the ServSafe certification as their primary IRC, and Chef Jill is very interested in offering a CCV course, Effective Workplace Communication, which she feels is a vital skill that people working in the kitchen, whether front of house or back of house, need. And we are working through the process with CCV right now for her master's waiver and application to teach that. If it's too late to teach it for the fall, we'll be able to have her offer it for the spring. Design and illustration, again, another program where they're not required to offer Tier 1 IRCs. Lisa offers lots of college credit, lots of opportunities for work-based learning, internships, and Tier 2 IRCs, which are portfolios that students are very successful with. Diesel is very good on the IRCs. We are adding a number of new Tier 2 IRCs and Tier 1 IRCs to the diesel program this year. Same situation as auto in terms of the ability to offer college credit and lots of opportunities in work-based learning. Education and Human Services has a lot of Tier 1s because there's all of the safety credentials required in working with children, and a lot of students are earning college credit and that have many opportunities to go out into the field via work-based learning. Medical professions you've been hearing a lot about in the last year, and Steph has gone above and beyond, making opportunity after opportunity for these students. They are earning credentials left and right, multiple opportunities for college credit. It's just a really stellar program in program quality regard. Natural resource management, likewise, lots of IRC opportunities, lots of college credit opportunities. There's some new forestry programs that are opened up through VTSU that we're going to be looking at Aaron offering on a every other year basis. So that's another exciting opportunity coming up. Sustainable agriculture, as you know, Kelly left after a long time here, and Anna Jo is assuming that responsibility, so she'll be taking over this year, offering Tier 2s as well. We are hoping to see that number of attainment raised this year, and again, lots of opportunities for college credit and also for articulation agreements for college credit out of state in upstate New York. And welding, brand new program offering already Tier 2 IRCs. They are going to be adding the NCCER credential, which is required for welding as well, as a new credential this year as well. And great things coming out of the welding program. That really covers the IRCs. The very last slide is that other measure that's not credentials and not dual enrollment, which is post-graduation plans, which is another element that the AOE looks at in terms of program quality, and that's really overall school-wide quality. And they want to see that when students leave the Hannaford Career Center, they have plans for the future. And if you see that huge blue side there, you can see what an overwhelming number of our students go on to college. and to the workforce. And other categories there are other advanced training, meaning perhaps they are pursuing advanced training in a technical program that's not the one that they are in. For example, we have a culinary student who went on to be an electrical apprentice. We've had students find a little different avenue out of the program and have gone on with it that way, or they are undecided or gap year. We are working to narrow that undecided element, and our new college and career counselor, Tracy, is going to be really incremental in doing that work and sort of setting up plans with students from the get-go, to plan out their 4-year plan. So we're happy with these numbers, and the real sort of focus for me this year is beginning the year making sure that all teachers have great opportunities for the IRCs and the college credits, so that the programs will be offering the necessary program quality measures, and that their students are on track to be attaining those, so we can beat that 50% minimum requirement.
Questions?
Questions?
Dan?
Actually, he had the same.
Let you go first.
Okay, I have 2 questions. One is, there are tier 2 IRCs. Are there is there a difference in the numbers of tier 2 IRCs offered by different groups? For instance, Diesel, do they have 8 different tier 2 IRCs?
That's a good question.
And so kids get multiple tier 2s, and, which is an interesting thing. And then the other question is this last plot is very interesting. It'd be pretty interesting to see, compare this to sending schools.
Yes.
Because we have 11% of the kids that are kind of, I don't know what I'm going to do here. I wonder what that number is in the sending schools. Because these kids, they train, and they probably have a better idea what they're going to do when they get out. So outside of college, it would be interesting to see what they're going to do.
And I think that the blue section there does speak to breaking down a preconceived notion that students that come out of CTE don't go to college, and I think that speaks very well to that, and the other avenues as well.
And when you adjust this for the number of IEPs.
Absolutely. Excellent point, too. Regarding the Tier 2 IRCs, if a program quality, let's say, requires 2, that doesn't mean the teacher can only offer 2. He or she can offer as many as they are willing to instruct for and test for. You don't want to flood a program with IRCs, because it takes time to deliver that curriculum, that instruction, that assessment, and we are required to report attainment on all IRCs, even if they are above the minimum. So it could, quote unquote, look bad if you decided, I'll just throw in one more test and only one student passes it. So it needs to be a very deliberate pedagogical decision on the part of the teacher to take on another IRC.
To be able to achieve and get a level.
Yeah, you want achievement in it.
Okay.
Which is sort of new, as I said. Before it was just offering it, now we need to meet this 50% mark of attainment.
And some tier 2s probably take longer than other tier 2s?
Yes.
Yeah, so.
I think one of the things that would be really nice for the public to see is, not only the percentage that go on to some other type of training, but also the workforce. Are they here?
Yeah.
Are they within this, county, state? Obviously some of it's going to go a little farther out. And then the percentage of who go on to other types of training. What do they look like? And the other piece, this probably isn't a question for you, is how well are we tracking these people out? Say alumni. I know a lot of the instructors here have a lot of contact with their alumni, and they check in on a regular basis to be able to say, guess what, they completed college. Or they completed the training they're doing, and are they still in that profession, or, what was their journey? I know some alumni have come back and spoken to some of the programs, but I think that's an informational piece for the public to be able to say, guess what? They're more successful than a lot of the sending schools in regards to completing a particular program.
You're absolutely right about that. And we do have part of our exit plan, gaining a non-school email address, what your plans are, and a plan for following up with students. And I think we can start gathering that data over, as you said, more than just a one-year basis, projecting.
And I think there's a lot of alumni out there, I know from even in my house, that really would like to be able to talk to people about that, or they check in with their instructor and say, hey, this is where I went.
Yeah.
And it's manageable, and I hear them sharing that with each other. And the other thing I think you'll find through the informational piece, that a lot of the students that rode the bus together from the sending schools are still pretty close, no matter what major they were in. And I still hear that. They check in with each other, and what are you doing? And a lot of times, too, we'll offer some job opportunity for them to go, because they have those connections.
And just saying, now they won't have their phones to stare at on the bus, so they'll make better connections with
Become
them.
better friends, yeah. Or
They
worse
were, though. They're
or
pretty
worse
close.
enemies, yeah.
They're pretty close, they'll watch out for each other. Wait a minute, don't leave yet, such and such is coming on the bus,
Yeah.
After you do that for a couple of years, I think you have that.
Judd, did you have a question too?
Yeah, just in the idea of graphs being misleading for the ART program, the idea that the work-based learning is at 0, even though technically all 17 of them
Yes.
were there.
Yes.
Is there any, if this is publicly available on the website or anything, is there any reason to just say that all 17 of them actually fulfilled that, or?
This is not publicly available on the website. It's just something that we gather internally and does get reported to AOE, but we're the only theater program in the state, so there's an understanding that it's not that we're not meeting our mark.
Great.
It's a good question.
Super, thank you.
Jillian, what happens with the new 50% requirement if you don't meet that? What are the ramifications?
It put you on a program improvement plan. I'm not sure what that entails. I haven't had a program on an improvement plan since I started last year.
We are not on one as of now, so that's a good thing.
What constitutes that? You just don't meet the numbers? Is it the numbers in the classroom? Or the success of the numbers that are in the classroom?
If you have a program that is not offering the program quality minimums, I mean, even offering them, they're not offering a college course, or they're offering the wrong IRC that's not on the list of approved IRCs, that sounds like it warrants an improvement. We've known that.
Right.
Now, and this will be the first time this is happening, now it sounds like it warrants an improvement plan if too few students are achieving those measures, and we'll have to see what that looks like this year.
The college credits, just one institution, or is it Castleton, or?
It's for the fast forward, it's
Right.
only through CCV or VTSU that are kind of linked.
Years ago, there was, I think the nursing program at one point was with Castleton. I do know that, just,
Since
years ago.
Castleton has been subsumed by VTSU, they're just
Yeah.
calling it all VTSU.
Okay, thank you. That clarifies that,
Yeah.
thank you. Any other questions from anybody? Thank you for the report, Lauren.
Is there anything prohibiting us from linking with like SUNYs for some of the?
Yes, that Perkins won't pay for it. So Fast Forward only pays for CCV and VTSU. I did reference, and I realized I didn't explain this, something called articulation agreements, and that is an agreement where the student doesn't earn credit in the class, but we have an agreement with the school. If the student is accepted and enrolls in that school, they will receive retroactive credit and place out. And we have those in place for the auto department, also for ag through SUNY Global Skills. So we have a number of those in place, but we can't pay for it with Perkins funding.
Any other? Thank you, very comprehensive.
Very interesting, yeah.
First time in a very long time.
Well, I look forward to
Thank you.
seeing where this goes this year.
Thank you very much for all your hard work.
Next year, you can put the bars next to each other for 1 year.
Love it.
Okay. Seeing no other questions, we'll go to the public commentary on any particular comment. I'm going to start it off by saying, if you have not signed up for payroll or billing signatures, there's a new group of dates that are available to do that. And kudos to Mr. Bitterman over there, who has been religiously faithful about coming in. Thank you very much, Bill. And again, that list is there. Doesn't take that long. And if Bill's there, he'll coach you through it, although he comes pretty early. So,
They changed the accounting this year too, though, just to keep us on our toes.
there you go.
What's that?
The accounting, the double entry stuff.
Oh.
And that sign-up is available online. The other piece, and I'm sure this may happen in September, is a report about field days and how they went and what kind of money they made or didn't or whatever, because I know it'd be Anna Jo's first, and she was running back and forth. She was doing a great job.
And Nicole was working there.
Yes, she was. I went very early on Tuesday, so she hadn't gotten over there yet. But you know what was nice is there were some alumni from years past that I spoke with, and they're off at college now and wanted to come back and were working in the creamy stand. I thought that was pretty cool. But it was people that Anna Jo had known when she went here. So it was really nice to see them come back and support FFA and all of that piece. I thought that was a really nice thing to see.
It's the only place I ate.
Way to go, Linda.
Yeah. Any other comments about the agenda or anything else you want to know? And hopefully by September, we'll have some enrollment numbers that will be nice and high and so on, and we may have to hire another assistant.
Do we know anything about, will there be scheduling conflicts again with next door?
Yes, there will be. We won't know much more until the add drop period is over. We made a decision this year to change when mechanical science, the way that we offer mechanical science, because only 3 kids were going to be able to take it. So instead of offering it every other day all year long, we're going to offer it every day one semester and then every day second semester, so that we believe will be successful in allowing more kids to take it. So we adjusted to that schedule. We won't know though till add drop period is over. We do know we've already lost over 35 students. We do know that up to this point. And then the add drop period is within, I think it's 2 weeks they do now. From the beginning of school to 2 weeks later is the add drop period. And that's similar to all 3 schools. However, last time we checked, between both Mount Abe and Virgins, we had only lost 7 kids total. So that's pretty good.
That's better.
But we also tried to do a 2-hour pre-tech like we do with our other schools, and Middlebury was not able to do that.
So the students that come to us, so the pre-tech program is supposed to be 2 hours every other day. And both Virgins and Mount Abe students get that full amount of instructional time. Middlebury students only get 80 minutes of instructional time every other day.
I was really surprised to hear that they're actually doing a jewelry class next door.
Yes.
And what else are they doing that actually should be over here?
There are, I can share a list of classes which, according to the course description guide, which is all I can go by, have content which overlaps our school. We have situations in all 3 schools that there are those kinds of classes. I will say, to give credit where credit is due, at Middlebury, Dr. Baker had made a change where the foods program, only freshmen and sophomores are allowed to take that now, with an intent of juniors and seniors going into culinary instead. So that was also a benefit.
Oh, cool. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none. I have paid a small amount of money to a reflection. I do not buy the pizza. Anyway, would you reflect, please?
No money was involved, actually. She's just kidding. I thought it was a very good meeting. Everyone here from the staff who presented, your presentations were fantastic, super duper informative, to the point, and represent a whole lot of hard work. So thank you all very much. And I am very excited to see the school with all the new changes and the classrooms cleaned up, or the lab cleaned up. So thanks for all your work over the summer.
Any other around the table?
The only other,
reflect?
not a reflection, but we had intended there to be an executive session because we thought there would have been mediation by now, but there has not been. So it will be the board's prerogative whether or not you want to hold that.
Yeah, we don't really have an update per se.
Yeah, but there were 2 items. The first one was about the negotiations. The second one says appointment employment or evaluation of public officer or employee, does that mean that one does not need to be done either?
We do not have any agenda for that, unless the
Okay.
board does. Right.
Okay, we're on time.
Okay, any other questions? Anything else you want to yak about? Guess not. All right, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Woo! Woo!
Twins.
Laura. And the twins. All is in favor?
Aye.